Let's move away from the logistics of the matriculants exams and, of course, the stress of the young South Africans now stepping up to write what is probably some of their most important exams in their life. I'm joined by educational expert and educational psychologist, Fred Schouwink. Fred, a very good morning to you. Thanks so much for your time. You and I dread thinking about how difficult the matric exams were. I mean, how difficult is it these days and the stresses matrics are going through, particularly with the pressures of trying to find a job?
Gareth, the matriculants are putting so much pressure on themselves because this is a gateway qualification into further studies. Bursaries often depend on it. But that being said, I think one has to keep perspective that this is one stepping stone among many. And, parents often say that they're so stressed that the children are not going to get into university, etc. So it's important to always have a plan B in place as well. But the stress is coming from that uncertainty and also the expectations being placed on them by parents, themselves, teachers, and their competitiveness amongst each other.
The sad reality is, unfortunately, every year we hear of incidents after the matric exams when pupils are waiting for their results. We've had incidents in the past where children have taken their own lives as a result. So let's talk about the parents quickly. It's a very stressful time, parents and pupils, of course. There will be changes in behaviour, more coffee being drunk. Is there something that parents should be looking out for? Are there warning signs that they should look for over and above the expected stress levels?
Parents should be looking out for that irritability that might be increasing, fatigue, and really listening to the self-talk that these teenagers engage in. And that's why parents have to have numbers ready for SADC and Lifeline that often have these services available for matriculants that are going through a stressful time. But I also want to say to parents that this is a time not to engage in negative talk. So not saying you should have done better, you could have done better, but really to play a supportive role and to really just be there and motivate. Give that cup of tea when studying. Eliminate house chores. It's really important that the matriculants now spend time on their studies, try and eliminate distractions in the household, keep the radio down, the TV down. Those are very important.
That was the big thing for me, was enough coffee to get me through my matric exams. So that's the tips for the parents. How does a student who's really feeling the pressure now, maybe they might feel they're a little in over their heads, they've applied to university, they're not sure if they're going to get into it. What are some of the tips that you'd give them as they get ready to write their first paper?
One has to look at preparation as a holistic process. So I think first of all that physical self-care, so eliminate the coffee and the sugars, because often they increase the anxiety.
Yeah, make you tense.
Also enough sleep, because we are bombarding the brain with so much information. Exercise, but then also organizing your environment in which you are studying, have your stationery ready, give yourself enough time to get to school so that when you arrive at the venue where you're writing, you're not stressed out completely. And also be realistic in terms of what can be achieved now. This is time for really revision. So don't get caught up in what you don't know. Rather focus on what you do know, fill the gaps, and work through exam papers, previous exam papers, because that will help you to apply the knowledge as opposed to trying to get through all those volumes. Now it's really about just the last stages of revision.
All right. Fred, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. I'm sure we'll chat again just after the matric finals as well. The English language paper being written this morning. All the best to you if you happen to be writing. Also the parents, of course, as Fred mentioned, stressful time for you. Good luck to you and your youngster. Educational psychologist Fred Schouwink speaking to us about how to deal with